Why, hello there, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Today I'm watching the Nintendo Direct Mini. In fact, I was actually thinking about not watching this, but the last time I decided not to watch a Direct Mini, they had announced the Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne remake. So these are definitely not to be slept on. Specifically, this is a partner showcase, and I'm pretty sure what that means is it's just third-party titles today. I'm pretty sure that's what that means, and we will find out pretty soon. To be honest, I'm still pretty shook from the PS5 showcase yesterday because Final Fantasy 16 and DMC 5 Special Edition have pretty much been preoccupying my thoughts in between the time they were announced and now, because there really hasn't been much time. And so it'll be crazy if we get some big announcements today right after those. I think just for Nintendo's sake that they really need to have something good here, because literally the only thing Nintendo really has scheduled for this holiday season is, technically they have a Zelda and technically they have a Mario, but the Zelda is just the new Hyrule Warriors, and the Mario is the port collection of Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. So technically they have a Zelda game and a Mario game, and just because of the names alone, just because of the Zelda and the Mario names alone, they will sell decently at the very least, but they don't really have any kind of hard hitters to be sold around Christmas, which is definitely something you don't want to miss out on for a business. You know, that would be the time you want to start selling. Obviously, you want big titles scheduled for around Christmas. And so I'm wondering if they still have something up their sleeve. But like I said, this is a partner showcase, so as always, I'm going to be saying I hope they show Shin Megami Tensei 5, or maybe even Bayonetta 3. Anyways, it's starting. Pretty much all their big titles were either already scheduled, that is loud, scheduled for next year, or they got delayed to next year. I was right about to say that looks like Wolf Link, but I don't think it is. It's audio mixing. Oh, is this Monster Hunter? It is. Yeah, I should have recognized the music sooner. So this doesn't seem to be like following in the direction of Monster Hunter World. This looks more like traditional Monster Hunter. Oh, what is this frame rate? The stream's at 60 FPS, but I don't think this trailer is.
I just got an important letter.
This has been rumored for a while.
We've got a rampage on our hands.
They're going way more stylistic, and I think that's a smart decision for the Switch, because obviously the Switch would have a hard time handling visuals like Monster Hunter World. But this looks really good. I wonder if they are using
It's been 50 years since the last calamity.
monster skeletons from World, or if they're using it from previous games. Because the thing with Monster Hunter World is they had to like build a bunch of stuff from scratch. They had to build all the monsters in that from scratch, whereas Monster Hunter games typically just reuse assets from the games previous to it. Seeing a lot of new monsters, but they all look pretty similar to monsters that already exist. Okay, so they are not even branding it with World. Monster Hunter Rise.
Shall we go?
Next year, okay. Nintendo still needs something around holiday season here. This is really interesting, though, because I'm worried that the fan base is going to be split from
You can play the
henceforth.
latest installment in the Monster Hunter series wherever you are and however you'd like.
Because
Prepared a trailer for another title, so please take a look.
you're going to have the Monster Hunter purists that are liking these types of Monster Hunter games on the Switch, and then you'll have people under the impression that Monster Hunter World is the future of Monster Hunter. Now the Capcom is absolutely popping off. Is this Monster Hunter Stories? I think it is. Monster Hunter Stories 2. Yeah, same art style and everything.
It's no mere coincidence that you were given Red's kinship stone, and now a Rathalos egg. This is
Egg.
destiny.
I'm so glad you're still alive. I thought I'd never see you again.
Looks good.
Okay, pal, let's do this.
Hey, what's that?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, but it'll work out.
Does the first one have full voice acting like this? I don't know if it does.
Red? Moon's blessing emerge.
Quick, hurry! We don't know if it's the right monster. Our mission is to see if it truly has catastrophic power.
Rathalos, Odyssey.
Also, I'm glad they have subtitles here so that way I can still read it while I'm talking over them. Oh, cool. Putting in a Monster Hunter World monster into Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is going on the Switch. So it's just weird seeing a Monster Hunter World monster on the Switch. For reasons I just stated, you know, World wouldn't be able to run well on Switch, I would assume. Yeah, Stories 2. Wings of Ruin. Okay, two Monster Hunter games already. I was going to say Dragon Quest. Because I was just thinking of the monsters.
Welcome to our third Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase.
Oh yeah, also Dragon's Dogma anime
Monster Hunter Rise
just
and Monster Hunter Stories
came out today. I thought it was coming out way later.
Monster Hunter Direct after this presentation, which will provide an in-depth look at both games.
Okay, I'm sticking around for that.
Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase.
Dude, it's not just a direct mini, it's going to be
Information about upcoming
plus
Nintendo
15 minutes of Monster Hunter. It's not just a direct mini. I thought this was only going to go on for like
Let's get started.
15 to 20 minutes.
Move to the rhythm with boxing.
Didn't this already come out?
The sequel to Fitness
Huh.
Boxing, where you can enjoy working out to the beat, is coming to the Nintendo Switch system. Grab your Joy-Con
Oh, two?
controllers and match rhythm like 1, 2.
Because I
Select your
know for a
favorite
fact
courses.
Rhythm Boxing was on the
Get to it with
Switch
boxing
already.
exercises. Customize your instructor's outfit to provide even more variety for your workouts.
Wake me up when they make a new Punch-Out.
Several features are included in this installment, including a 2-player mode, an alarm function, and the ability to turn
Alarm.
off boxing moves. Save data also carries over from the previous game.
Turn off boxing
All these
moves.
features to help keep you going. Select any one of the 9 instructors, including 3 new ones.
When are these characters getting into Smash?
Samus, Hero.
It's kind of interesting that it's a rhythm game too, though.
All of them have their own distinct personality.
Obviously, we have to get something not as exciting like this after back-to-back Monster Hunter announcements. I still find it very surprising how they just casually announced the new Monster Hunter,
Pre-orders begin later today.
because there was so much question going on, because that had been rumored for a while, but then, you know, some people thought it was getting canceled because of Monster Hunter World. Disgaea.
A zany brand new installment
Zany.
of Disgaea is coming to the Nintendo Switch system. Meet Zed, the protagonist of Disgaea 6. But he's
Lord
not
Zed,
just some
Emperor
lonely
of all
zombie.
he sees.
As a result of super reincarnation, he'll become stronger the more he dies. Vibrant characters full of personality also make their appearance in colossal showdowns.
I always get this game franchise mixed up with Danganronpa for some reason. My brain just puts this franchise and Danganronpa in the same category.
Level is nearly 100 million. Reincarnate in a variety of
Whoa,
worlds
what a
and face
big
off against the
number.
strongest god of destruction. Get ready for an experience that defies common sense.
I know these have their dedicated fan bases, though.
Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny is coming exclusively to Nintendo Switch Summer 2020.
I need to go back and check. Did the new Monster Hunter even have a release date? I was too excited to even remember. I was too excited to even pay attention to see if it had a release date or not.
For Nintendo Switch Online members. Defend your turf in a ruthless criminal underworld.
There's a whole lot of trouble.
I think this was announced already. Was it? Maybe not, I may think of something else.
I run the fortune tellers. But if you're looking for
Turn-based strategy. I'm pretty sure this was announced before. I think this was
performer by art.
casually announced at a Nintendo Direct.
Capone and Angelo don't really know what started their feud, but I do. I poisoned Capone's supply and made Angelo take the fall.
This is like turn-based combat, right?
Are merely players in
Turn-based
my
strategy.
The world is my stage and I am the star. And we are about to put on a big show. You know that no one ever
They're showing little pieces of gameplay every now and then.
looking for salvation. Come and get it. You know you ain't gonna find
There are a lot of resident sleepers in chat right now, but to be fair, it's really difficult to make an interesting looking trailer for turn-based strategy games, if you ask me.
A terrifying threat draws near in this tactical shooter.
We'd close the trap on Hitler's North Africa campaign.
This Sniper Elite.
But what next? I'm headed for San Celini, a secluded island to Italy's southwest.
Whoa, it zooms out and then it's on the Switch. You wouldn't believe it. Get this.
With no surprises.
According to the script, the camera will slowly zoom out and you'll see it's on the Switch. In a Switch showcase. What? No way. Ugh. He's fine. Oh, I think that's the game my brother was talking about when we were watching the PS5 showcase yesterday, when it was on the COD segment and the camera tracked the bullet, and he said it was similar to some sniper game. I think he was talking about this. I think it's Sniper Elite. Sniper Elite, yes it is. I had to rewatch that Final Fantasy 16 trailer several times though, because I was talking so much during the
Here's a quick look
reaction video.
to Nintendo Switch this month.
Is this a sizzle reel? No.
Brave the quiet apocalypse in this exploration survival game. You're on your own
Yeah, okay.
through a frozen wilderness in the aftermath of a geomagnetic disaster. A chilling narrative awaits.
Super artsy
Story
indie game.
mode. Or enjoy hours of permadeath survival gameplay. Experience true survival on Nintendo Switch later today.
Today? Okay, that's cool. That's cool when they
The fairway is
do
open.
drops like
EA
that.
Tour 2K21. Play against the pros on visually stunning real-life courses. Hit the links with friends locally or online.
Whoa, this frame rate.
Full seasons and tournaments with online societies. A physical version of this game swings onto Nintendo Switch September 25th.
Yeah, wake me up when they do a Mario Golf. Ooh, Hades. Today! Okay, Hades, they said that Hades would release on Switch when it was version 1.0. So if it's releasing on Switch today, that means Hades version 1.0 should be ready today. And I've been wanting to play this game,
Hades comes to Nintendo Switch.
and since they said that version 1.0 is coming soon, I told myself, okay, I'll just wait until version 1.0. I'm probably going to start playing that game. I want to get that game, and I want to start playing it probably right after this month once I'm done with the Soul Calibur 6 tournament.
To Wonderworld. Leo and Emma were led here by the mysterious.
Now in Wonderworld is getting slept on. This game's really exciting. For anyone that doesn't know, the person making this game is one of the OGs that made Sonic. This isn't being published by Sega though. It's being published by Square Enix, but he's also the guy that made Knights, which is why the main mascot looks pretty similar to the guy from Knights.
Pack powerful punches to destroy giant blocks. There are over 80 costumes to find.
3D platformers are really in a renaissance right now,
Collect hidden statues to
which I'm happy about.
stages.
Because I always thought it was weird that they turned into a niche.
Menacing bosses await at the end of each stage.
People giving Resident Sleepers in chat right now literally have no idea what they're talking
Combine
about.
your abilities and navigate
This is a big deal in the industry right here.
Balan is waiting for you. Balan Wonderworld will make its grand.
Okay, got an actual release date.
Spring 2021.
Surprised they didn't wait to say that, because that's not super soon.
Your new life in a fantasy world is about to begin.
Okay.
Build a new life amidst
Balan Wonderworld release date's pretty big.
RPG.
Obviously, the Monster Hunter is a big deal.
As a young man or woman with no memories,
Or woman.
fresh start in the rural town of Rigbarth as a peacekeeping ranger. In addition to protecting the town, your day-to-day will include harvesting
It's
crops.
like Harvest Moon. Why is the music like some action anime?
You may even find a special someone to start dating, fall in love,
Ooh, maybe.
get married.
Oh, think I'll ever get married?
The new battle system allows you to perform combo attacks with
Maybe
allies
someday.
to take down monsters.
Cholewa.
Begin your life anew in a fantasy world when Rune Factory 5 comes to Nintendo Switch in 2021.
Okay.
This next title will be our last announcement.
That really was short. I'm not familiar with this studio. Okay, Ori. Okay, I'm sticking around for that Monster Hunter showcase then. I was considering stopping the recording and then uploading the direct mini part and then uploading the Monster Hunter part separately, but this part was so short, might as well just make them both one thing. Again, we're going to pan out and it's going to be on the Switch. It's probably for when they upload the trailers to YouTube later, so that way if somebody's watching the trailer for the first time, they'll see that it's running on Switch. But obviously when it's in the Switch showcase, it's obvious that it's for the Switch. I really wonder what Capcom's plan is for Monster Hunter. Like, are they going to have basically two separate... That's a nice box. Are they basically going to have a more traditional style Monster Hunter team making Monster Hunter games for the Switch, and then they have the World team continuing to make Monster Hunter
That's all for today's Nintendo
on
Direct Mini.
PS5 now?
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for Monster Hunter Direct.
Okay, so is that happening immediately? So Capcom's doing all this stuff at once, and just no word on them. Ooh,
Hello there, everyone. I'm Ryozo Tsujimoto, producer at Capcom.
Ryozo is the son of the CEO,
Showing off the latest
I'm pretty
games in
sure.
the Monster Hunter series.
which
To kick things off,
explains why he's so
please
into
take a look
this.
At this announcement trailer.
Is this the trailer we just saw? Yeah. Okay. So we can analyze it a bit more now. So it definitely has much more of a deliberately comic look, I would say. Deliberately... more of a deliberately simplistic art style. But it has a bit more of like an ethnic feel to it as well. Like with it feeling a bit more, like Japanese folklore-ish. Just in terms of the music and the... You see, they even drew Capcom Presents in sort of a brush. So I'm assuming the grapple hook here is going to be similar to the Hunter Claw from World, because honestly, after using the Hunter Claw in Iceborne, it's one of those things where you didn't know you needed it until you got it. But now that I've used the Hunter... Or Clutch Claw, it's called. Clutch Claw.
It looks like
Once you get the Clutch Claw, you can't live without it.
on our hands.
Oh yeah, see, even the village is all Japanese folklore. It looks like... And that's obviously, you know, trying to be very yokai. That looks like a kappa. It's not literally a kappa, but it just looks reminiscent of a kappa, like coming out of the water like that. Tetranodon. Izuchi. I don't see any monster designs here that look radically different from other ones, but they might just be saving their big, crazy monsters. Magnum Hollow looks cool, but it looks pretty similar to Like Zenogre. Oh, that the thing that I said looks like a kappa looks kind of like a platypus once I saw its bill. Also, earlier I think I saw another monster that was in Monster Hunter World. So it looks like this game would be having monsters from Monster Hunter World. But the thing is, they would have to sort of simplify the models. Also, is he wearing Nargacuga armor? As soon as I see the fishnets, I think Nargacuga armor.
So, what did you think about Monster Hunter Rise? The rise in the title refers to the idea of hunters running up cliffs and making use of the verticality of the environment.
Yeah, it looks like
our desire to create a game that gets lots of people
they're trying to keep some of the verticality from World, but obviously it's not as
Monster Hunter
lush.
is a hunting action game series where players get to confront huge monsters in majestic natural environments.
Majestic natural environments.
Since the debut of the series.
Oh, okay.
And this new entry will take advantage of the portability of the Nintendo
Dude, I can
Switch.
hear Ryozo
Provide a
speaking, and he
Monster
sounds
Hunter
way more
experience that
excited than the
anyone can
translator.
whenever and wherever they want. Now, before we talk more about the game itself,
There was a Monster
I'd
Hunter
like to
Tri
introduce
enemy.
Yasunori Ichinose, the game's director.
Hello everyone, I'm Yasunori Ichinose, the director. It's nice to be here today.
Yeah, I'm assuming they have a separate team for this one.
First, I'd like to talk about the new actions we've added to this game. This game will let you go to all kinds of places on the map, such as cliffs and elevated platforms.
These new actions are made possible thanks to a little creature called the wire bug. The player carries several of these small bugs around, and they allow you to climb to a variety of places that would normally be out of reach.
Is it kind of like the tracking bugs in the Clutch Claw in 1? It looks a bit more acrobatic than World.
There's a great variety of actions you can perform by combining the wire bugs with attacks. Using these unique attacks with your favorite weapon is what the combat is going to be all about.
Thanks to the wire bug, there's now a lot more variation to movement and attacks, leading to versatile, fast-paced combat. Next, I'd like to talk more about the environments.
I wonder if they're going to have arts for Monster Hunter Double Cross or Generations Ultimate.
You'll be whisked to an open map that forms one single seamless locale.
Okay, so they're keeping that from World. This is actually really impressive that it's running on Switch.
Of course, we've made sure to create the locales to make full use of the wire bug's abilities.
Whoa, frame rate.
Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about one of the new areas in this game, which we already showed a glimpse of in the trailer just now, called the Shrine Ruins. From the starting camp, you can run down the mountain to get to the main field. This area is characterized by the scattered ruins of an ancient shrine, hence the name. I can't explain in too much detail, but there are lots of things to discover across each locale, so I hope you take the time to explore when going on your hunts.
The thing is, World was Capcom's best-selling game ever, so there's no way they're going to not make a direct follow-up to
I'd like
that.
to show you a new type of canine buddy known as a palamute.
Palamute. Oh, Palicos have some competition! Activate Cats versus Dogs War.
These canines can run around with hunters sitting on their backs. While you're riding one, your stamina doesn't decrease, so you can keep running at high speed.
So does this
for as
replace
long as you
the
want.
mounts from Monster Hunter World? It looks like they're trying to consolidate a bunch of the things they came up with in World.
You'll also be able to perform various actions, like using certain items,
Okay,
recovering your health.
so it's like a universal mount.
As an attacker type, they will help you out in various ways.
I think they're purposefully saving all of their big crazy monster
The
designs.
feline palico from past games also make their return again. They will help you out as a support type. You can take 2 buddies with you on a quest, and you are free to decide which combination of buddies you want. In multiplayer, each hunter can bring 1 buddy with them.
Next, I'd like to talk about the new monsters.
They even have that effect over the screen to make it look like an old movie. That's the flagship monster?
But it's a fearsome fanged wyvern with a strong air of menace about it.
Yeah, that is a Monster Hunter World monster, the one it's eating. I don't know if that's a really strong flagship monster, though.
Aknasom is a bird wyvern that attacks hunters with its characteristic crest. By changing its shape and using it as a weapon.
Ugh.
This monster is the bird wyvern Great Izuchi. Its main characteristic is that it tends to move around in groups of 3, attacking all at once or in succession. The key to hunting them lies in how you defend against these attacks. And this is the amphibian Tetranodon. It swallows up gravel to expand its body, and then charges at hunters. As its body changes, so do its attacks. So you'll need to change your approach on the fly while dealing with them.
Ooh, a body slam.
Tetranodon and Arzuros are in a fight here. We are working on new gameplay elements that arise from fights between monsters.
Almost vored him.
We'll share more about this at a later date.
See, the fact that it's using Arzuros makes me think, okay, they're just reusing assets from the old Monster Hunters.
So please look forward to more monster info in the future.
But does that mean they had to recreate the Monster Hunter World enemies from scratch again?
Your base in this game is called Kamura Village. You'll find all
What were they
conveniences
doing?
a hunter needs, like the smithy and other facilities. And all kinds of colorful characters.
Obviously, the village is going to be interesting. They always are.
Unfolds through the characters of this village.
I just got an important letter. It looks like we've got a rampage on our hands.
I can't say anything yet about the rampage, but we are aiming to provide a new experience with this. So
They're
please
beating
look
up that
forward to
dough.
future announcements.
We hope you liked what we've shown so far. To close things off, I'd like to share the release date and the details on the different versions. As we announced in the trailer, the game will release on March 26, 2021.
Strangely
and you'll be
simplistic
able to
box
choose
art.
from the following versions: the Standard Edition and the Deluxe Edition with a bundle of recommended DLC.
Oh, I thought they were going to talk about, like, if there's going to be a PS5
Supply will
version.
be limited, but all versions
What the?
will include special layered armor for your Palamute and Palico, plus a Novice Talisman as pre-order bonuses.
It's a little creepy. I prefer the
Also,
default design.
We'll be releasing these 3 amiibo for Monster Hunter Rise on the same day as the launch of the game.
Okay.
Using these amiibo lets you unlock special layered armor.
So they are going all in with
On
this
top of
game.
that, you can also
Like a
get
full-on
daily
release. They're not
lottery
really
with
treating
a
it
variety of useful items.
as a side thing. They're not treating it as a
Provide more
spin-off.
Details on these amiibo in the future. We hope you'll get them along with the game.
I still think that's a weak
The
flagship
game will
monster,
also
though.
have some compatibility features with Monster Hunter
Okay, some
Source
cross
2,
promotion,
which
that's
we
nice.
also announced today. Please look forward to more information on that as well. For more information about Monster Hunter Rise, please check out our official website, which will go up later today. Pre-orders for the download version will start shortly after this Monster Hunter Direct. So please head on over to the Nintendo eShop.
It's not coming out till next year.
Please check with your local retailer for pre-order information.
Okay.
That's all for Monster Hunter Rise.
Was that already 15 minutes?
Mr. Ichinose has a few final words for you.
Thank you for watching this introduction of Monster Hunter Rise. We are currently working hard on completing the development of this new Monster Hunter game. Your reaction to this announcement will give us strength and motivation, so please let us know what you think. Please look forward to future updates. We hope you'll enjoy Monster Hunter Rise.
Alright, next up, it's my pleasure to introduce the
Okay,
newest RPG
that wasn't
in the
15
Monster
minutes.
Hunter series, Monster
This is
Hunter
part of it.
Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. Please take a look.
Once this is over, I'm going to talk more about Monster Hunter Rise, but I don't want to speak too much over this. This one's a lot more self-explanatory, though.
It's no mere coincidence that you were given Red's kinship stone.
They're just showing the trailer again.
This is
I never played Monster Hunter Stories, but I think it was one of the 3DS games that released later in its lifespan. I never played Monster Hunter Stories, but I was interested in it, and I hear it's really underrated. Shepard's a Monster Hunter streamer I've been following for quite a while. Monster Hunter Shepard. I've been following him since Monster Hunter Tri, and I had watched some of his live streams where he was playing Monster Hunter Stories, and it looks good. Obviously, it's a spin-off. So obviously, I wouldn't want this to be the direction of the franchise from now on, but obviously, it's a spin-off, and they know that. Might as well use this opportunity to talk more about Rise. I think it's good that they're keeping some of the elements from World that are just objectively better, like how all the zones are interconnected and the verticality of the levels. That's just stuff that's objectively better. But a lot of the stuff in Monster Hunter World, while a lot of things did get streamlined, which is nice, a lot of things felt like they just got watered down in the process, which just makes it feel like a less involved experience. It's always a balance between being, streamlined and involved. And so Rise looks like it's a really good happy medium between World and traditional MH.
Traveling the world with your monster companions as you tackle quests and experience a rich story set in the Monster Hunter universe. You'll be joined on your adventure by a number of popular monsters from the main series, and the bonds you forge together will have far-reaching implications as the plot unfolds.
What's interesting is that even though this has more of a chibi art style, obviously,
begins with the mass disappearance of Rathalos from around the world.
it doesn't look worse than
Descendant of the legendary
Monster Hunter
dragon
Rise
Red, you have a fateful encounter with a Wyverian girl
in terms of fidelity.
who has been entrusted with an egg. I can't say much more at this point in time, but just as the title of Story suggests, we're working hard to provide fans with a fantastic narrative worthy of the series. On top
I like
of
the
that,
character
we're
designs.
including elements that connect this game with Monster Hunter
Yeah, the
Rise.
cross promotion.
So, please look forward to that.
Like what I was saying is normally games with that sort of
The game slated for release
super
in summer
anime art style,
2021. We hope that Monster Hunter fans
cel-shaded
and all
almost.
fans of RPGs in
Typically
general
those games
will
have
enjoy Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of
lower
Ruin.
graphical fidelity,
We
and the
can't
art style
wait
pretty
to
much
reveal more about this game in
hides the
future.
fact that it's low
Stay
graphical
tuned.
fidelity. But honestly, this and Monster Hunter Rise, I don't think one has better graphical fidelity than the
We
other.
introduced you to two new titles.
It's just one has a
Monster
different
Hunter
art style.
Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2. We've created official websites and social media accounts for each title.
Okay.
Please go check them out. We are also planning to provide more updates at TGS 2020 online.
Okay,
on
yeah.
September
Capcom's having a significant panel at TGS.
20th,
I will be
and
covering
TGS Live 2020
I will be covering the Capcom segments of TGS in addition to Sega and Square Enix. At least that's the plan. And Xbox Game Showcase.
for watching this.
Xbox has a segment at TGS. Sega has a segment, Square Enix has a segment, and Capcom has a segment. I plan to cover those at the very least. Probably not all of TGS, but those are the most pertinent ones. Okay, that was a lot more than I was expecting. I was not expecting such a big... Well, first of all, I wasn't expecting a Monster Hunter announcement. And in addition to that, I wasn't expecting so much focus on it. Capcom just casually announcing it. See, this game was actually rumored to have been finished or near completion for a long time, but the rumor or speculation really was that, I mean, you don't need a rumor to come to this speculation. You don't need the rumor to come to this theory, but, you know, it's an endogeneity problem. Who knows if the rumor caused the theory or vice versa. But basically, by the time Monster Hunter Switch was around completion, Monster Hunter World was still kind of new and was selling crazy amounts of units. And obviously, Capcom didn't want to self-cannibalize Monster Hunter by releasing a Monster Hunter Switch while Monster Hunter World was selling all these units. Monster Hunter World, like I said, becoming Capcom's best-selling game of all time. So it makes sense from a business standpoint. It makes sense why they would wait to release this. And Monster Hunter Iceborne just recently got its last announcement. Got its last few announcements, and they had sort of like a big closing ceremony for Iceborne. And so they've pretty much said that, they've pretty much concluded their development for Iceborne. And so I'd imagine that the main Monster Hunter team is now developing some sort of direct follow-up to World on the PS5. I can only imagine what that's going to be like. And in between the releases of Iceborne and the next Monster Hunter game on PS5, I guess they're just putting this in between, so that way there's no risk of them cannibalizing each other. But like I said, it's going to be very interesting, because when World came out, it already sort of split the fan base, because you have Monster Hunter purists like me who appreciate the traditional Monster Hunter, but then you have a bunch of new players that got onto the bandwagon with World and obviously wanted to stay like that because of how streamlined and beginner-friendly everything is. To be honest, the direction they showed here, I think, is a really good happy medium between keeping the stuff... Like, even though I would call myself a Monster Hunter purist, I started playing since Tri, I still definitely appreciate all the impressive stuff they've done in World. Namely, the interconnected zones and just the sheer verticality of the environments. That's just... It's a huge improvement. But just a lot of the other things are just so streamlined, it feels less involved. Like, how pickaxes don't break and how you don't need bug nets, Yeah, it's nice not having your pickaxes break, but like I said, it was just always very involved that you had to bring pickaxes and bring better ones. So then, when you mined, it would feel like you're doing more to get it. Instead of, I'm walking by ore, might as well mine it as much as I can. Anyways, they probably would try to make if they could have ported Monster Hunter World to Switch, they probably would have. But obviously, it's unlikely that that was possible. Hence why they're going for something that's a little bit more similar to typical Monster Hunter. But just, they knew that just some things that just set the bar really high from World, like the interconnected zones, they had to keep. And what's interesting is, it looks like they were consolidating the clutch claw with the tracking bugs. And I think that makes sense to consolidate mechanics, because the tracking bugs were in World at launch, and then the clutch claw was introduced in Iceborne. So they were introduced at different times, but now that both exist, you can literally just put them both together as one item, which I'm pretty sure is the design philosophy behind that. I thought the color palette was really interesting, because Monster Hunter 4 and Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate were both very colorful and very saturated in their color palette. This game, however, maybe it was just the one zone that they were showing off, but the sky was always hazy and cloudy, and I thought that gave it a pretty unique feel. I actually kind of liked it, because it seemed like they were going for more of like an ethnic, traditional, sort of Japanese folklore aesthetic. Not to mention that it was just a little bit more stylized in general. I think because they knew that they couldn't get it as high fidelity as Monster Hunter World, they decided to just make it a bit more stylized than normal. Hence why they also look like slightly more acrobatic, like when they climb up the walls. It looks like they have a bit more of an acrobaticness to their movement. So another one of my questions would be, I'm wondering if they're keeping the different hunter styles. They were either called arts or styles from Generations Ultimate. Basically, you had 4 different variations of each weapon, which changes up your moveset quite a bit. And so I'm wondering if that's just going to be a one-time thing for Generations Ultimate, just because Generations Ultimate was pretty much released as a celebration for an anniversary, so maybe it was just a one-time thing. But I thought they were really good, and I think they could expand on them more. So that was actually one of the things I was sad to be missing in Monster Hunter World, was the either Hunter Arts or Hunter Styles, I forget what it's called. But the fact that those were missing in World I was disappointed about that because I had become so accustomed to the aerial style with the greatsword. It has a weird learning curve, but once you get used to it, it's fun. So I'd like to see those return. And you could also play as a Palico in Generations Ultimate, which was obviously fun because why would you not want to play as a Palico? It was basically his own weapon category, a different weapon type. Playing as a Palico is essentially just a weapon type. And so I'm wondering if that was also just a one-time thing for Generations Ultimate, but I'd like to see that back as well. And it'll be really interesting following updates for this game because I'm really wondering if the first update for the PlayStation 5 Monster Hunter is going to sort of overlap with updates for this game, or if we're not going to get the next Monster Hunter announcement until after this release as well, after this releases. So we will see. It's pretty interesting. Capcom's just, as soon as you think Capcom's done, Capcom already has me shook with that DMC5 Special Edition. By the way, even though it said that it would be releasing on PlayStation 5 at launch, in the description of the trailer on the official YouTube page, it says that it'll be coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One later as DLC. So it's basically just a timed exclusive on PS5. Anyways, I can't wait till Capcom brings this sort of momentum to their fighting game division. I think they're really trying to save that for last in terms of their divisions that are making a comeback. Capcom pretty much started their renaissance with Monster Hunter World and then Resident Evil 2 and so on. But they've been reorganizing some of their organizational structure at Capcom, or at their Capcom's fighting game division. Like, for example, they demoted Ono, and so I have a feeling that they're really winding up their fighting game division so they can just make their fighting game division as exciting as all these others by next gen. So that'll be exciting. So anyways, I think this video has gone long enough for our Nintendo Direct Mini. It's already been over 40 minutes. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you plan on. Let me know what you think about this Monster Hunter because. Like I said, it's going to be interesting seeing the fan base's reaction to this, especially after Monster Hunter World. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're planning on getting it. What were the other games they showed again? There was another game that I thought was exciting. What was it? Anyways, the Monster Hunter is just Monster Hunter is just taking up all the space in my brain right now from that Direct. But anyways, yeah, I will see you all later, and bye for now.